I wouldn't say this kind of stuff because I know how foul it sounds, and I think it's horrible, honestly. But when you've experienced all things includes a lot of horrible things. And I'll really just get personal and say I've seen endless amounts of terror, torture, horrible things. Not just tying people up, not just doing little things like picking their body apart, doing little experiments on them, letting them live, and seeing it being done to myself, having it being done to myself, having it being done to me as other people and other animals and other entities, being eaten by bigger things, eating dead things that died, killing them, doing the most horrible things, and playing with the dead bodies and doing gross stuff, having sex with every single one of my family members, killing them, like doing it again, like all those kind of crazy things. So like when you think to yourself, like someone you really, really love, and I know this is like, those are morbid things, and I do apologize. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize for saying any of those things. But we see that kind of stuff on TV all the time. But when you think about doing it to yourself, it's pretty horrible, isn't it? Or thinking about doing it to your family, it's pretty horrible. Well, you watch it and you condone it. But think about those times when even people you love and you would never harm them, ever. But you think to yourself, he's my best friend, and he's big and strong, and I wonder if I ever had to, if I could take him in a fight. Everyone has done that with somebody. Like somebody does this certain one thing and they're like really good at it. And you're like, I wonder if I could beat them at that. Or not that I really want to, not that I want to outdo them. I myself just want to know what my personal best would be in that situation. Or I want to know that if it ever came up, would I be able to? Like those kind of scenarios, I've lived the whole life of the other person and seen what would happen. And I've lived another whole life as Dan Alexander and saw what happened. All I have to do is be there, look at the moment, and the whole thing's flash in front of me, and I can see which ones were real, which ones weren't. And the more I focus on it, I can tell if this person really did that this lifetime or if that's just a thought in my head. I can tell if the person is going to do that or if that's just a thought in my head. But I have to really focus in on them. It's like a thing that I can't explain other than trying to use the examples of things we have here. But this is what my life is. And if you haven't heard some of the talks I'm talking about, this is just, I can say anything right off the top of my head and it checks out being right. Like, I'm not freaked out by it, but it's a blessed thing. And people could use me to their advantage because they would just talk to me and I would say whatever. But since I come from a place of love and pure heart, I don't think I could be duped. I'm too smart to be duped. Now, that's pretty, bold to say. But for instances like those things that I'm saying, if you have ever thought to yourself, I wonder if I could beat my son in arm wrestling. I wonder if I could whatever. I used to be a good arm wrestler when I was a kid. Now my kid's a really good arm wrestler. Is that weird that happened? No, it's because it's a part of you that's still living on. It just passed on to another body, and those thoughts were still in those cells that merged with that body, and more things were reintroduced to it to redirect their mind to that again. If that doesn't make sense, why do you think kids fall off to their dad? Not just because their father or their brother or somebody in their immediate family is a great baseball player. Sometimes it's just a cell in their body. It's a cell in their body. And sometimes it can be something they saw on TV and thought about and it became a new cell that sparked an interest. Or it could have been something that was a deep down rooted thing. People say there was something deep down in me that whatever. That's not a joke. There always is something deep down in you. And it's everyone and everything and their opinions of everyone and everything that there's ever been. The only memory is the elements. It's elementary. Why do you think you start there? The thing is, you got to go back there. You got to go back to understanding what the elements and the plants and the trees are actually saying to you. And I have the code through letters, words, and symbols that I say all the time. And I'm not joking. I wouldn't have said sick things like that. Like I said, I apologize again. I wouldn't have said sick things or any of those sick things like that in this beginning of the video. And I apologize again. I just can't. I don't want them thoughts in my head. But those kind of things have happened to me specifically. But I know that they haven't this lifetime. I'm a damn good guy, and I'm doing everything I can to do the right thing by myself, by God, by the world I live in. And if there's something wrong with that, then somebody please tell me. But that's the kind of stuff that I've lived through, all those kind of things too. So I'm not just Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, yay, everything's great. Like, it's not just peaches and cream at all. But you keep your mind in control, you can do amazing things, and we can actually heal this world quite easily. We just got to see that those people who say that they're doing things for us, we got to see that they really care. And we can see that they don't. Because if you just say one simple thing, if you cared about each other, everyone, if you cared about just the world living, money would be totally unnecessary. And no one can say that we need money in order to survive. You can't. Water doesn't cost anything. Doesn't cost anything to clean it either. When it rains, you can clean it yourself. You can boil it. You can stop putting toxins in it. You can stop throwing garbage and pollution in it. You could stop toxifying it with oils and crude oils and stuff like that. You could stop transporting and digging up oils because we can run things on something that never would have to use fossil fuels. We never have to use anything that's combustible if we didn't want to. We just do. We don't have to. And if we can really get our heads together, then you guess what? We can do anything. That's the truth. We've heard this our whole life from everyone and everything, and that everyone and everything was only one and only one thing. And it was God talking through each and every one of us, being everything at all times, and registering it back to its own universal mind. And when you can actually see that and live that life from every angle, when you just tap into it. As soon as I walk in, I'm in the divine astral, in the physical world. And I can get deeper and deeper and deeper into the divine astral. I can go deeper into God itself and come back with the answers. Like I said before, this sounds really crazy. I'm helping existence figure out why it started, how. Because there aren't words for it. And that's what I mean, trying to figure it out. I know it. We all know it. But there's no words for it. That's the issue. Signs, symbols, and numbers will never go certain ways. Sounds will never make certain silent sounds that you can't hear without the ear. But as soon as you can go to that place that you don't need the body or the senses, you become it and you know it. It depends on how much you can leave your ego self behind and really let go. And people just, they say they can, but if they could, they'd be able to say everything I'm saying if they really merged with the oneness. I mean, I'm not joking when I say it, but I hear it from so many people and it just sounds like so stupid to me, because I can like look at their name, see what they're here to do, and tell them where their flaws are. And they'll get mad at me for it because they'll say, no, that's not me. But that's them lying to themselves. Like literally their human self, but me too. The higher self, the highest self. And I don't, whoopee-doo, I'm it. So are you. I want to tag you guys. Like, I don't want to be it no more. I want to go back to being all of it with everyone as it. That's what I want. And living a physical life of paradise. That would not be hard, like I've said. And I'm not going to oversay it this time. I love you guys. Until next time, peace.